right, we welcome you once again to Tropicana Field, where the Rays will try to avoid being swept at the hands of the Boston Red Sox. This game 3 of this series. The Rays in the wild card hunt, still occupying the number 2 spot, a game up on New York, a game and a half in front of Baltimore and Cleveland, with Kansas City playing very good baseball 2 games back. Well, hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tropicana Field with Brian Anderson. I'm Dwayne Stats. Good to have you aboard tonight. Todd Callis along in just a moment. A devastating loss last night for the Rays. In fact, Alex Cobb, the starting pitcher, characterized it as the low point of the season. The Rays certainly hope that's true as they send Jeremy Hellickson to the mound. And they also hope that what they saw from Hellickson last time out is more representative of what's ahead tonight.
Well, you know, Jeremy Hellickson has had 2 starts against the Boston Red Sox this season. You remember when Joe Madden set all of this up, he tabbed Hellickson for this start, and based on those numbers, you can see right there, 1-0, a 2.77 earned run average. That covers 13 innings of work where he struck out 13 while giving up just 4 earned runs, and both of those starts came at the very tough place to pitch of Fenway Park. So, you know, Jeremy Hellickson has some history against his team, and you're right, you hope that the last time out was a confidence builder for him as he pitched into the 6th inning against the Angels and gave up no earned runs. He's going to be opposed by Jake Peavy, part of a 3-team trade coming over at the end of July from the Chicago White Sox. 7 starts with the Red Sox, 3-1 record, 3.55 earned run average. 5 of the 7 starts, he's given up 2 earned runs or fewer. A very fierce competitor who the Rays actually saw back on April the 26th when he was a member of the Chicago White Sox, and he threw the ball very well against them in that start.
He is a veteran competitor, a very smart right-hander out there on the mound, and against the Rays in 5 starts, 3 wins and 1 defeat. This will not only wrap up this current series, but the season series between these 2 clubs. And when we come back, Todd Callis takes a look back at this year's matchups between the Rays and the Red Sox.
matter of minutes here at Tropicana Field. Red Sox and Rays wrapping up this 3-game series. Tampa Bay trying to win 1 in this set before going off to Minnesota, then back home for their final 8 home games of the year. Boston had not defeated the Rays in a season series since 2007 until this year. And this year, they have dominated the wins and losses categories with 12 wins to 6 for the Rays. When you look further into the numbers, it's been pretty close. When you look at the runs per game, Boston's been held to fewer than 4 runs a game. This is the team with the most runs in all of baseball. But the Rays have been held to fewer than 3. Why? Because the average with runners in scoring position has been so much better for Boston, 273, than 163 for the Rays. You see overall just a 209 team batting average for the Red Sox, but they've been getting some clutch hits along the way. Here's Joe Maddon's thoughts on how close it's been despite the fact that the Red Sox lead 12 games to 6.
We have not really scored well against them this year. They've actually outpitched us, I think. And even though if you look at our pitching numbers versus them, it's by far the best in the league versus that group. So we've pitched well against them, and they've actually trumped us with that a little bit. Like last night's another classic example. The first game was 2. You roll back the tape on a lot of games up in Boston this year. We just have not been able to break through against their pitching staff, and you have to give them credit.
So there it is, Joe Maddon's thoughts as we get ready for baseball in 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Jeremy Hellickson, Jake Peavy, Rays and the Red Sox for the final time in the regular season. Enjoy all the action right around the corner, right here on Sun Sports.
After James Loney's home run in the 8th inning, tied the game at 3. Boston pinch hitter Mike Karp dashed the Rays' hopes in the 10th. Shot to center field. Jennings will go back, and that one is gone. Tonight, Tampa Bay needs to find the magic formula for a W as the Rays' hold on a wild card berth remains in peril. So Jeremy Hellickson will go to the mound for the Rays in search of a victory here over the team with the best record in baseball, the Boston Red Sox. Hellickson coming off his start on the road against the Angels, in which the Rays picked up a victory, his 11th win, so he comes in 11-8 to face the Boston Ball Club. He is 4-2 overall in his career against Boston. And here is John Farrell's lineup Dustin Pedroia leads off at second, followed by Daniel Nava. David Ortiz, the DH, hits third. Mike Napoli, the cleanup man. Jared Saltalamacchia up in the fifth spot. He'll catch. The former Ray Johnny Gomes at left. Stephen Drews at short. Xander Bogaerts is at third base, hitting eighth. Jackie Bradley Jr. in center.
Well, and what Joe Madden and the Rays are hoping to see out of Jeremy tonight, as you take a look at his season numbers brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida, is what they saw in that last start. A little bit more life on the fastball. He had it in better spots. That's always going to be a theme with Jeremy, specifically down in the strike zone. You know, anytime, I don't care what the lineup is, you pitch into the sixth inning, give up no earned runs, especially off the stretch that he had been coming off of. You hope that's a confidence builder, and he can roll that into tonight, where he's thrown the ball very well against Boston this year.
There's John Farrell, has his club with 15 games left to play. 31 games over 500, 89 and 58. And Dustin Pedroia, who's been in the leadoff spot here in this series, goes after the first pitch, and it's popped up. Escobar making the call and the catch. The first pitch presented by Pinchapenny, and it's caught by the Rays shortstop. One away.
Let's take a look at the Rays defense tonight as it lines up in the outfield left to right. DeJesus, Jennings, and Myers across the infield third to first. Longoria, Escobar, Zobrist, and Loney. Jose Lobaton will be behind the plate.
Daniel Nava having a very good year. He's in the top 10 in hitting now. Switch hitting outfielder, playing right field tonight. And Hellickson's fastball is in there for a strike. It's one thing we saw from Hellickson against the Angels. He threw a lot of strikes with a fastball, and they were quality strikes as opposed to just strikes.
Yeah, there's a difference. You want a strike thrower, but when you say that, you infer quality strikes. A guy that's just out over the plate, those guys can get banged around pretty easily. But you're right, Jeremy had the ball in good spots, and that will be the key for him, especially against a lineup like this.
And a fastball in for strike two. 1-2. Nava hitting at even 300, 318 against right-handers. Two and two. Hellickson's numbers against righties and lefties pretty much the same. In fact, they are almost identically the same in terms of average against him. See, lefties 275, right-handers 276. That's going to go right through the hole. Little ground ball the other way. Well, that was a big spot over there between Escobar and Longoria. Nava hit it right between the two of them.
Well, Longoria off the line a little bit at third, and Escobar was shaded way up the middle, and that was a nice job of two-strike hitting there by Daniel Nava. Watch this. Not big on the swing, the ball down and away, and look at him, a little half swing, and he sees that hole out there. You'll see a lot of hitters, too, when they come to the plate. They look out over the defense. Where are the holes? That was a perfect pitch for that swing by Nava, and he takes advantage.
So the Red Sox have a first-inning runner. And David Ortiz, the DH, steps in.
David Ortiz never needs to look at the defense against him when it involves the Rays.
He hits it over the defense frequently.
Well, that's
the only way that he's going to succeed against the Rays, with the shift they put on against him.
Yeah, you do not want a hitter like David Ortiz. You do if you're the Rays, but everybody else, you do not want David to change his approach based on the defense. When you're a slugger, you just try to hit right through it.
2-0. Ortiz with a couple career home runs against Hellickson. Jeremy 11-8 overall this year. That's a strike to Ortiz. 2-1. Boston now sporting a winning percentage of .605 at 89 and 58. And their lead in the East over the Rays 9.5 after winning the first 2 games of this series. Quite a turnaround under John Farrell. And ball 4 wide. That pushes Nava up to second base in scoring position. And Ortiz draws the walk, and that draws an early visit from Jose Lobaton.
Well, Jeremy Hellickson, that entire at-bat there against Ortiz pitched him very, very carefully. You could see that. He went from attacking Pedroia and Nava to just kind of trying to nick the outside corners with those pitches. Wasn't able to do it. And now you immediately have runners in scoring position.
Well, Mike Napoli's going to be the hitter. And he's had a solid year plus for the Red Sox. Hellickson has limited him in their matchups. He's 2 of 11 with 5 strikeouts in the matchups head-to-head against Hellickson. And there's a broken bat ground ball to short. Barehanded pickup and the throw to first. That ball not hit hard enough, and Escobar had to get out of the way of the barrel end of the bat. You see a ground ball to short with Napoli, and you're thinking double play, but no chance for the double play there.
No, and you're not talking figuratively getting out of the way like it's close to him. I mean, he had to get out of the way. I mean, this thing's coming. Avoid that, and then you see, well, you're not going to see it there, but Escobar had to literally move out of the way of that bat. You see Nava trying to avoid it. Hop over it. Now you got to go with the bare hand. Maintain concentration, only able to get one.
They got the ground ball, but not hit hard enough. And with all those flying objects out there, Escobar feels good to have gotten just the one out. Now Saltalamacchia. Cut the miss, strike 1. You know, Hellickson not known for the ground ball. His rate's about a little over 50%. But he has thrown 15 double play balls this year.
Yeah, that's a good amount for a guy that is, considered a fly ball pitcher and is a fly ball pitcher.
He's away from Saltalamacchia. Saltalamacchia has been a bit of an issue for Jeremy Hellickson. 7 out of 23 with a couple career home runs off Hellickson.
You will see, though, a lot of guys that have really good changeups like Jeremy does will get a lot more fly balls because guys are a little bit out in front. They're popping stuff up to the infield. You see that quite a bit. And that all goes into it. But when he needs it, he's been able to get it.
Well, here's another trip to the mound. And coming off the stretch the Rays have right here in the first inning. 2 mound conferences. You know that in the dugout, a watchful eye of Jim Hickey and Joe Madden.
Yeah.
Just no question. They're at critical times here in the final few weeks of the season.
Everything is a grind right now. Everything. Nothing is coming easy to this team. Nothing. They don't look loose.
Cut the miss and a curveball.
You could just sense it. This was a very good pitch here. You see the spike curve. That thing ripped to the bottom of the zone.
1-2. And he got it. Struck him out with a fastball. Got to strike 2 with the curve, strike 3 on the fastball. 2 men left in scoring position. No score. Facing Jake Peavy and Joe Madden's lineup again tonight. We'll have David DeJesus in the top spot with Ben Zobrist hitting second. James Loney goes into the third spot. That's different. Evan Longoria cleanup. Matt Joyce the DH, followed by Will Myers, Desmond Jennings, Jose Lobaton, and Yunel Escobar.
Well, Jake Peavy will be taking the mound tonight for the Boston Red Sox, making his 21st start of the season, his 8th start as a Boston Red Sox. And in those 7 starts, he is 3-1, ERA just over 3.5. While the rest of the season numbers you see there brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida.
And in steps DeJesus against Peavy. This pitch, a strike. Peavy's not going to overpower you, but he might outcompete you in more ways than one.
Yeah, he is something else to watch. He is, you know, he's one of those guys that realizes I get to play once every 5 or 6 days. That's my day.
Fly ball lifted towards center. Bradley Jr. makes the catch.
Let's take a quick look at the Boston Red Sox defense as it lines up tonight. The outfield left to right, Johnny Gomes, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Daniel Nava. Across the infield third to first, Xander Bogaerts, Stephen Drew, Dustin Pedroia, and Mike Napoli. Jared Saltalamacchia will be behind the plate.
There's Ben Zobrist. Been one guy in this lineup who has enjoyed some success against Peavy. Fastball around 90 is a strike, and that's about where he'll top out with his velocity.
Yeah, well, what he will do is, like good pitchers do, he'll move it around. He will cut it, curveball, slider, changeup, you name it, you're going to see it.
1-1.
When you talk about the competitiveness, I mean, he's not afraid to talk to umpires, ask where pitches are, yells at himself. He doesn't like pitch location.
Zobrist out in front of the change a little bit, fouls it back. It's 1-2.
Well, you can just imagine how excited he is to have left the Chicago White Sox. I mean, he may have liked pitching there, but anytime you get an opportunity to get to Boston, to get to a bigger market and compete in a pennant race, you know he's thrilled.
Ground ball picked by Pedroia. Zobrist is out number 2. 2 up, 2 down. Here is James Loney. Also a couple of career home runs against Peavy. And in their matchups, 9 for 28. So Loney up in the third spot for the first time this year. You're tempted to say because he does have such good numbers against Peavy, he's in there. Shot to center field. Bradley back, angling to his right, makes the catch. First pitch fastball, shot to center and caught by Bradley. On to the second, no score.
Been teasing the past couple nights a special ticket offer just for you, our Rays viewers. And here to break it down with us, Lou Caputo. Spill the beans. We got to reveal it.
Spill the beans. Here's what we're talking about. It's called the Ticket Takeover. Your friends from Fox Sun Sports and the Rays have got a group of tickets that we want to sell to you for half price. That's 50% off. Here's the deal, though. You need to go to RaysBaseball.com/Sunsports. Use the password takeover to get your tickets. Now, we can only give 8 per person. There's a limited quantity available, and I don't know if they're going to last to the end of the game, but if they do, this offer expires at midnight, so get yours now.
Dwayne B.A., this is for that September 20th game against the Orioles. It could be pretty intense.
Absolutely, yeah. Get them now. They're going to go fast.
You're on the clock, Rays fans. Take them up on it. You're not going to regret it. You're going to want to be here.
And here we go with Johnny Gomes leading off the second inning. Yeah, that's a Friday night. It'll be a great opportunity for the entire family. We'll have more info on that as the evening progresses with Kelly and Lou out there.
Yeah, I mean, last homestand of the year. Meaningful game. Team that's right behind the Rays now. Who knows where they're going to be at that point. And it's a Friday night. I'm going to be here.
Yeah, we'll show.
I've already signed up.
1-1 the count to Gomes with Drew and Bogart's scheduled to follow. Pitch in on Gomes, and he fouls it out of play. 1-2. Red Sox left a couple men on base in the first. Hellickson got Napoli and Saltalamacchia to end the first. And in getting out of that first, give up the base hit to Nava and then walk Ortiz. But Hellickson just destroyed Mike Napoli's bat and then went to work on Saltalamacchia.
Yeah, the at-bat that Jared Saltalamacchia had off Jeremy Hellickson. Jeremy Hellickson could be cited for abuse. I mean, that was some kind of workover right there.
Gomes takes ball 3. The count is full.
I mean, he started by getting him to swing at a fastball down and away for strike 1, swing and miss at a curveball middle of the plate down, and then climb the ladder on him
and beat him up in the zone with a swing and a miss. That was outstanding location by Jeremy Hellickson. An excellent sequencing.
Combs lifts the fly ball into right center. Myers makes the catch. Well, as we've seen this year, location will continue to be the key for Hellickson. He comes in with 11 wins, but an earned run average over 5.
Well, that in the big inning. You know, I mean, he has been victimized. You're just sliding right along, doing a great job for 3-4 innings, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a 3 or 4 spot gets put up on him. And, you know, they had that opportunity in the first that could have got away from him and gotten a little bit out of hand, but he saved his best for the last of that inning against Saltalamacchia.
Stephen Drew takes the pitch inside. Drew 275 on the year against right-handers. Nothing. Hellickson pitching with 7 days rest. He had a similar span before he started his last game Wednesday against the Angels. The Rays trying to give him a little refresher here in the late stages of the regular season. He falls behind Drew 3-0.
And Joe Madden liked Jeremy's fastball in his last start. You know, up about a mile and a half from the previous start. A little bit more life on it.
And he gives up a walk to Drew. Second walk issued by Jeremy Hellickson.
It's a pretty good range right there, already at 93. You know, you don't see him up there very often. The fact that he's been able to nick that now and a low of 75, change up in between, gives you different looks. Now, the one thing that you want to stay away from, though, is extra base runners against this lineup. Try to avoid the walk.
The 20-year-old Xander Bogaerts getting a start at third base. First pitch is a strike. Bogaerts out of Aruba. The Red Sox extremely high on his abilities, both from the offensive side and the defensive side. It's fouled back. 0-2. Bogaerts starting at third base tonight. Their third base coach, Brian Butterfield, really impressed with his footwork. He has quick feet. That's where it all begins on the defensive side of things.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, you look at any sport and it starts, feet, the transfer up through the body. I mean, you've got to be nifty if you're going to be an infielder. Brian Butterfield, a tremendous coach, a lot of experience in this league. He knows good feet when he sees them.
Swing and a miss. Bogaerts out on strikes on the changeup. That's out number 2. Yeah, Butterfield been around some winning teams.
Yeah.
Out in Arizona with the Yankees.
Yeah.
Here this year with the Red Sox.
I'll tell you what I know. I know a good changeup when I see one. And there it was. Yep. You got to see it too again. No, he has. I'm telling you, and he tremendous sense of humor. Had him, you know, when I was out with the Diamondbacks. Yep. Mm-hmm. Loves the game of baseball, loves being around it, enjoys every minute at the ballpark.
Because he frequently is spending every minute at the ballpark.
That's right.
Zobrist takes care of the roller by Bradley. They get the force on Drew at second. We'll go into the bottom half of the second inning with Evan Longoria due to lead off in this scoreless ball game. roughing the first two. And Evan Longoria will open the bottom of the second inning against Jake Peavy. Take a look at our Toyota trend. We touched on this last night, but you see the run production and the Rays records with Evan hitting third or fourth, and factoring in last night's loss, 48-39 with him hitting fourth. And over the long haul, they've scored. They've been a much better run scoring team with them fourth and third. James Loney hitting third for the first time this year tonight.
We're trying to find that right guy to hit in front of him. And when you think about James Loney, you think about consistency of approach. He's going to give you a good at-bat every time. And also, more than likely, will give him more opportunities to have more at-bats moving up to the 3 spot. Right now, anything. You're searching for anything that will jumpstart this O.
2-1. Having a couple of career hits off PV. One of those a home run. And he starts to go checks. Running the count to 3-1. Takes a big cut right there. Ball kept moving away from him, and it's a full count.
That's the cutter, and that's where he will use it. 86 miles an hour, and look at that ball just stay on the same plane and gradually move right off the end of Evans' bat.
He takes this one up the right field line toward the corner. In the corner, Nava having trouble corralling it. Longoria around second, heads for third. The throw not in time. Longoria takes a fastball away and hits it into the corner and right.
Well, down and away, there's nothing you can do except for that right there. And when Daniel Nava decides to leave his feet, he had better come up with this ball cleanly. When he doesn't, that is what is allowed. You see Evans see him right there go down, and he's going to pick it up and get into third here with nobody out.
Evans' third triple of the year. Rays with their first scoring opportunity. Joyce hits a popper back at third, foul, down around the bullpen mound. Joyce with 17 home runs, 15 against right-handers. Popped up, left side. Gomes coming in, gets there and makes the catch in short left.
Now that hurts. You get a leadoff triple like that, hope to build some momentum. In Boston, they're playing the infield way back. They're handing you this run. The only thing that Peavy can do is hope for the strikeout or this right here, a pop-up that's too close. Matt Joyce knows it.
Saltalamacchia and Peavy get together before they work to Will Myers. Will with 42 runs batted in. 76 hits in 70 games. Will Myers. He takes a pitch outside. Myers, no batting gloves. Chopper foul. Count is 1-1. Interesting at this point in the season, the Rays have actually got more runs batted in from right field and from left field than third base. I figure Kelly Johnson had a lot to do with that early at the time he spent it left. And Will Myers has picked up the pace from right field since he's been up here. He's going to drop foul and a nice little catch down in the bullpen.
Picking his game up. And, and I would think, too, on most teams, as you see right here, follow it, save it. Not as many guys jumping out of the way.
One-two to Will. Started to go, but he checked. Pitch moving off the plate.
Yeah, and the Rays are going to run out a different kind of lineup than most teams, but I would think on most teams you would want your corner outfielders to outdrive in your third baseman, even if he's an all-star. But with the moving parts here.
Ground ball headed toward the middle, skipping by Pedroia into center, and Longoria scores as Myers gets the job done. 1-0 Rays.
Well, Boston had two shots at that one. Jake Peavy, not a very good one. Maybe the body gets in the way, but Pedroia had a shot at it too. Right here. Right by Peavy. Allows Evan to walk home with the Rays' first run.
So Myers driving in his 43rd run. Here's Desmond Jennings. Ball one outside, but to follow up that point, BA, on the corner outfielders, that's traditionally where you would expect to get a lot of thunder. And the Rays' approach to that is a lot of matchups and all the different lineups that you see from Joe Madden.
I think you'll start going forward. I think you'll start to see a little bit more of that, because now you figure from here on out, you think of Will Myers as your right fielder. So there's going to be a run producer out there. But you're right. Before that, it was, you never knew who was going to be around out there, especially after Zobrist came in and became basically your everyday second baseman.
Yeah, his arrival in a way solidified more in this lineup than we've seen in the past. And the Rays still have somewhere around 128 different lineups. Saltalamacchia runs out of room. Last year, over 150. But with Myers coming in, you're right, moving Zobrist to second.
Yeah.
You know you've got Longoria at third, and Escobar's been at short. Loney pretty much over at first. So this has been about as set as the Rays have been for a while. Now all they have to do is start scoring runs again.
Right. Let's do a good start tonight.
1-2 to Desmond, and he's out on strikes. First strikeout for Peavy, and the second out of the inning.
I'll tell you what, even going back, and it happened so quickly, but the Myers base hit, he showed a better job of understanding what these opposing pitchers are trying to do to him. They're trying to get ahead, and then they're trying to entice him down and off the plate. They've seen it work on film. That's what I'm sure what the game plans say. And he went out, laid off the one slider down and away, and then that fastball out there, he went right out there and hit it with authority back up the middle. Didn't try to pull it, didn't roll over it. And that right there, I think, just goes into the mindset of Will Myers and the understanding of how he's being pitched.
I want to know the count to Lobaton. Myers on that first delivery to Lobaton, getting a little frisky over there at first base with a little bluff.
Well, he can run. And the Rays, now that they have the lead, may look to get aggressive here with 2 outs.
Inside to Lobaton.
Peavy relatively quick to the plate. 8 out of 13 this year in the stolen base department.
That's pretty consistent for him. Throughout his career, he gave up 9 last year, but had 8 caught stealings and a pickoff thrown in there. That picks up the corner.
But this is also a team that has really struggled in slowing down opposing teams' running game. And sometimes, you get a guy like Will Myers and you don't really pay attention to it. More of a power guy. He's a big guy, so you don't pay as close of attention, and they can take that extra foot and get a better jump.
But as we all know, he can move. He runs well. That's the first thing we noticed when we saw him in the spring, how well he moved for a big guy. Cut at the fastball, foul back, 2-2. The Rays taking advantage of the leadoff triple, the one-out base hit by Myers. Got the run home. The Rays already have a hit with a man in scoring position. They were 1 out of 10 last night. There goes Myers. Pitch, a cut and a miss. Lobaton out on strikes. And the Rays are finished in the second. They pick up the first run of the night. Myers up the middle. Driving in Longoria. 1-0 Tampa Bay.
Single. If you think back to the All-Star break, Rays came out of that break 8-2 on that road trip, but they've been 2 games below 500 since the All-Star break. However, today Joe Maddon said, let's not look back, let's look ahead.
I really believe we have a chance to do our best work ever here right now. We're in really good shape. We're still in good shape. It's been kind of more difficult lately. It's a great time to teach ourselves a lesson where you never stop grinding, you never give up, you never quit, you never do any of those things. You just keep working forward, staying in the present tense. And my wish is, my want is that we keep working through this, come out the other side in a really good way, and then learn a lesson for many years to come.
That lesson would be you can lose 13 out of 17 late and still be okay in the wild card picture. We'll see what happens, guys.
Yeah, Todd Maddon said that his sight's still on going to the World Series. And, here's the thing. They are still in that number 2 wild card spot. And if you factor out all the percentages of the possibilities of who's going to get to the wild card in the postseason as of today, they still have the projected percentage advantage to get there. So what he's saying makes some sense. If you can put this behind you and play the semblance of baseball that they played most of the year, that's his case.
Well, he's stepping up, for his team. Dustin lines out there to Ben Zobrist, and trying to keep them focused on the positive. I mean, too many times in the last week and a half, you just swirl the camera around. Blank stares, no life, teams out hustling you. Those are not trademarks of a Rays ball club. And so Joe Madden is going out there, instead of addressing everybody every day, he's saying to the media, listen, we can do this, face forward, all these different things, because this team has been, I don't know, following a path that's been very uncharacteristic of anything that I've seen in the last few years.
It has a different personality than some of the other clubs, and you've been inside the clubhouse with different teams you were on. Daniel Nava takes a ball. Every team has a different personality, but this one is different than the others. That's not saying it's good or bad. It's just different than some of the other Rays teams.
Yeah, and what you'd like to see here, going down the stretch, is a little bit more life. Winning obviously will certainly help that, but sometimes you got to manufacture life in order to get yourself in the right frame of mind to play and compete, especially with the teams that the Rays are going to play against. They're playing against teams that are fighting for things. Boston, their turnaround, winning the division, clinching that. They're going to see the Rangers, who are fighting for their playoff lives and trying to get a division. Baltimore. All these teams are going to have something to play for. You better match their intensity, and that's the one thing I don't think that we've seen from the Rays in the last couple of weeks. We talked about it in Anaheim, how the Angels were beating the Rays at their own game.
Yep, and they came out, the Angels, and played aggressively.
Yeah.
And they played like the Rays have played for the last 5+ years, and took the game right to the Rays, the way the Rays would usually take it to the Angels or any other opponent. Strike 2 to Nava. If you look at the teams in the wild card behind now Texas and the Rays, the Yankees, you couldn't blame them if they felt they had something to prove after the kind of year that they've gone through.
Yeah.
A lot of injuries, a lot of age, and here they are, still a viable postseason team. Baltimore again, the Orioles trying to make a point. They turned it around last year. They're trying to get it done after all those years of losing. Cleveland, the same thing. Kansas City, they made the big push, gave up Bo Myers in the Shields deal, to try to make a move. So all of those teams have added incentive.
Yeah, well, and think about it. In Kansas City, they're young, energetic. The Rays have seen that. Rays don't want to see any more of that team.
That's exactly right. 3-2, lifted into left. The Jesus back and over a couple steps. 2 gone. Pedroia lining to second, and Nava with a fly ball to left. And I do think that there have been times, and there have been some tough losses, and none greater maybe than last night. We've seen this team let games get away and suffer devastating losses. And Madden had always had that 30-minute rule, enjoy it for 30 minutes, wear it, grieve it for 30 minutes, and then go on. And I really sense that there have been times when there's been a little carryover beyond 30 minutes.
24 hours.
Yeah.
I've seen the 24-hour carry it with.
That's right.
And maybe further than that. And that's what is uncharacteristic of this team. And, you do have to realize that you're still in the catbird seat. You're still at the playoffs end of today. You're going.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you got to play with. You got to play, with that idea. Don't make me go all Kip Winger on you again. But the lyrics, play the game as if you've already won.
Yeah. There you go.
I mean, that's cheesy 80s hair metal band, but that's a good phrase.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. Play the game as if, think about that. It's loose, you're out there having fun. If you're going to go down swinging.
Yeah, I'm going to go get a tattoo right now.
Already beat you to it.
That's how to play. The count is 1-2, but you're absolutely right. The point made. And they are, even though they've had this terrible stretch of dropping 13 out of 17 and hitting a little over 170 with runners in scoring position, they're still in the position that all of those other teams behind them are fighting for.
Yeah.
They want to be where the Rays are right now. So it's a pretty good spot to be. Let's take that and build.
Are you going to do it on the plane tonight? You're going to lead and I'll finish? On the intercom?
I'll set up the floor for you. Ortiz up with a count of 1-2. Rays got a run in the second inning. Boston up here in the third. Bases empty, 2 gone. Hellickson ahead of Ortiz. Here it is. It evens the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Extreme shift on. There's Napoli on deck. This series between the Rays and the Red Sox in wins and losses dominated by Boston this year, 12-6 right now. But these have been some hard-fought games. I mean, real battles between these two clubs. And just the runs scored, the diminished numbers of runs scored by both teams gives you a pretty good feel for what this season series has been. Look at that.
Look at everything else. Extra base hits. The Rays actually have a better average.
But it's been the runners in scoring position. It has been the clutch hitting that has given Boston the advantage overall.
Well, and the Red Sox scoring just 3.8 runs a game in the season series. They're averaging over 5.2 for the year per game. And the Rays in the series, well, overall averaging, I think, almost 4.3 runs a game for the Rays during the regular season, and under 3 in the season series against Boston. 2-2 now on Ortiz. Red Sox threatened in the first. They left men at second and third. Put the man on in the second. First 2 men out here in the third. Ortiz out on strikes on the changeup. 1-2-3 go the Red Sox. 1-0 Tampa Bay. And the game tonight at all season long, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports. James Loney hit the game-tying home run last night in the 8th before the grand slam in the 10th decided the game in favor of Boston. Janelle Escobar against Jake Peavy. The strike is called. Jesus and Zobrist will follow Escobar. In a bit. 1-1. Peavy 11 wins this year overall between the White Sox and the Red Sox. Down to short. Drew makes the throw. Escobar is the first out. Back around to the top of the order. Got an encouraging word for the Rays today from Bill Wainer, 99 years old, a big Rays fan in Naples, Florida. In the gang down at Bentley's rooting for the Rays. They haven't given up yet, knowing the Rays are well positioned to turn this thing around and get to the postseason.
I'll tell you when you give up, Dwayne. You give up when your team's 2 back with 1 to play.
That's it.
That's when you give up.
That's right.
You can give up then because it's official.
Yep.
Till then, I mean, a little bounce in the step. You have 2.5 weeks left.
Yep.
Or so. Something like that. It's going to feel like about a week.
Yeah. Tends to fly when you get to one of these races.
Oh, boy. Does it ever. And look at that race.
There you are right there. This first time they've ever been bunched up like that since they started the wild card. Never happened before. That close. Kansas City 2 back and all those teams involved.
Kansas City and Cleveland have played. The Rays are going to play Orioles and the Yankees. There's going to be a lot of in-between going on. Some high-intensity series coming up, that's for sure.
Two balls, 2 strikes. The Rays dealing with a solid professional out there. Peavy can drive you crazy out there.
Oh, yeah. Well, because he will throw anything at you. And he may throw at you.
Three-2. There's some of that fire in Jake Peavy.
I mean, there it is. First the grunt on the pitch, and then he yells because it didn't go where he wanted it. He is a ball of energy.
Full foul down in front of George Hendry.
You know, Todd brought up the point in the pregame show. What if Jake Peavy had been traded to the Toronto Blue Jays with Munenori Kawasaki, Rajai Davis out in left, Brett Laurie at third? My thought, after giving that some thought, I think at the end of the day, Bud Selig probably nixes that trade. Doesn't even allow it to happen. There would just be too many distractions at the field at one time.
But could you imagine the marketing possibilities of that group? It's headed for the stands and will fall out of play. I mean, what a campaign you could put together. Could you imagine the video and the audio for that matter?
I mean, between those, the 2 guys in the infield, Laurie and Kawasaki, Davis jumping around out in left field. He gets some footwork going. It's crazy. And Peavy yelling and screaming on the mound.
That's right.
That'd be you know.
You'd have to add Grant Balfour to that. You know, let him close.
Yeah, well, but at least one of them would leave the field by the time he came in, and that would be a plus. But you're right. I mean, must-see TV.
And ball 4. DeJesus works the walk. Runner at first with one out. Tonight's game available in Spanish via SAP. Brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida. Ben Zobrist in the box. Ground ball down to first, bobbled by Napoli. He'll take the play now at first. He had ideas of going to second, but DeJesus is safely in there.
And let's see now if the Rays can take advantage of that bobble by Napoli, because you're right, Dwayne. Watch right here. The body language tells you he's going to spin and throw to get DeJesus. So that would, at the very minimum, cut down the lead runner. Not able to do that, so the Rays are left with the runner in scoring position.
With the idea of turning, trying to feel that ball, is a little like a hitter pulling off a pitch too soon.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's what he did.
Yep. Well, yeah, you like anything, you start to rush it, it doesn't work out.
That's why we always try to be calm here in our production. Here's James Loney.
And by saying we, you mean you.
See if Loney can get this potential run home. 1-0. He belted his 12th home run of the year last night. He hit that curveball on a line out to right field in the 8th inning, and that got the Rays even at 3-3. And I'll tell you, almost everybody here and viewers at home thought that when he hit that home run, that would be the catalyst to a victory for the Rays.
You don't know how many times I heard that just during the day today, out and about.
Me too.
Everybody. When Loney hit that home run, I thought there was no turning back.
Yep.
And I know we thought the same thing up here.
Loney ahead in the count, 2-0. And a shot back into right. Nava to the track. That's going to be off the top of the wall. DeJesus scores. Loney into second. And the Rays take a 2-0 lead.
Well, the Rays absolutely take advantage of that bobble by Napoli. Now there's a chance that if he only gets one, Zobrist maybe could have scored from first. But it's a for sure run here. Almost got it out of the yard again. Similar pitch, similar trajectory, almost.
Well, for a moment you thought that ball might get caught up there. Took a little while coming back. 65th run batted in for Loney. Longoria takes the pitch inside. So Loney comes through with a man in scoring position. One to count. I've been checking with Lance Barksdale, 10-year veteran of Major League umpiring out of Mississippi. Blocked by Saltalamacchia. Off speed, change up down. Matt Joyce on deck. Longoria scored the first run when he tripled up the right field line. Myers base hit got him home. 2-2, and he was out in front. That changeup was too enticing. Rays building a 2-run lead against Jake Peavy. Longoria started, but he checked. The appeal down to first, and the count runs full. Gomes there, and boy, Bradley racing over there, but Gomes, with Bradley racing across, makes the catch. Rays get a run through 3. They lead 2-0.
Take Luke Caputo and I anywhere. I had that close scare earlier this year at Fenway Park, and you just had one of your own here.
Yeah, I did, but I'll tell you what, you can't get that kind of excitement at home. You got to come out here to the game and see it, and that's why you really got to take advantage of our ticket offer tonight. 50% off your tickets, and all you have to do is go to the website and get them for that game on the 20th of September against the Orioles.
And against the Orioles, guys, it could be epic. That is game 1 of the series, and if you think the hunt for October is intense now, just wait until that game.
Yeah. It's a ticket takeover as well, folks. So go to the website right now. We got a limited number of tickets. No telling when they're going to sell out. But regardless, the offer's over at midnight.
And what is the special offer code again?
The offer code is TAKEOVER.
Perfect. Don't forget, guys, type in TAKEOVER to get 50% off. You can't beat it. And he's got a little souvenir now. Pretty sweet there.
That was a heater, too. That one came up here.
Close call.
Well, that Friday night game is going to be fun. Great night for the family to come out. So we'll see how quickly those tickets disappear. 2-0 the count to Napoli.
Yeah, and I'll say this, too. If there are any left over after the game, which, you know what, that's a coin flip at this point, but if there are, remember, the limit is midnight tonight.
Yep.
So if you're of the mind, well, you know, honey, let's sleep on it, you're too late already.
Yep.
So just pick the phone up or however they told you to do it. I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention. Just get it done.
Yep.
And speaking of close calls.
Yeah, how about that?
What about the close call that we almost had in Kansas City?
Yes, remember the snow out?
Yeah.
You were standing there, and it was a giant snowflake almost got you.
Almost clipped me.
Yeah, it did. And, you know, that game was canceled. I think that was what got the game canceled. Napoli is out on strikes, postponed. The Rays had to go back and make it up.
They wish it had been canceled.
Yeah.
After they went back out there.
Yeah. That's exactly right. But that might have been the biggest snowflake I've ever seen. It came right behind your head.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who would expect that on top of the fact that it was even snowing in May?
Mm-hmm.
Really, really creepy.
Strange weather out there in Kansas City in May. Jared Saltalamacchia. Saltalamacchia struck out on a fastball up in the first inning. One ball, no strikes. Oh, big cut by Saltalamacchia on the changeup. It's 1-1.
There's the grip. Boy, this is something that you can do. Look at that. That ball, he starts it at the knees, over the plate, a 1-0 count. You can get that kind of a swing that'll let you get right back into it.
Well, you can see how enticing that would be, especially for a left-handed hitter against a right-handed pitcher.
Yeah.
Ball down there. He gets excited about location, lifting that thing out.
That's it, and that's what it boils down to. Saltalamacchia likes that ball down and out over the plate from the left side. Get that good extension. You're geeked up. 1-0.
Two and two.
Let's see if he goes back to it here, but Jeremy took him out in his last at bat with the fastball up. Climbed the ladder on him, had been working him down, 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 and boom, popped one up there with 2 strikes and got the chase. Could not get the barrel to the baseball.
The count's going to go full. Hellickson making his 29th start of the year. Jeremy made 31 starts last year when he went 10 and 11. With a 310 earned run average. And a long one into right field, and he gets hold of this fastball and hits it out. 3-2 fastball. Saltalamacchia hits his 12th home run. It's 2-1.
That's the risk with Saltalamacchia. Fastball down and away, good. Fastball elevated like Jeremy did last at bat, good. Fastball over the plate, down, middle in, down. You run the risk, and look where this ends up. That is right in his wheelhouse, and we've seen him do this many, many times.
He has 8 career hits off Hellickson. 3 of them have been home runs. And that was perfectly placed to do what he just did with that pitch. He'd been 0 for 21 until that long one into right center. Strike to count to Gomes. Two. So the Rays have the lead cut in half on the home run by Saltalamacchia. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jeremy pitched 5 1/3 in his outing a week ago yesterday against the Angels. Won that game 3-1. He leads in this one 2-1. And he strikes out Gomes. Change up strikes him out. Number 5 in the strikeout department.
Well, again, that pitch down in the zone, you're looking to protect, and Jeremy, great job with the arm speed. That pitch, you see how far out in front Johnny Gomes was. The pitch mimics that fastball, same spin, same arm speed.
Stephen Drew, the shortstop. Strike one.
I get the feeling he could do that all day long. I'll tell you what, the reason that his played so well tonight is because he's been good with his fastball down. I mean, his fastball's been down all night. And actually, the one time you wanted it elevated, it was down to Saltalamacchia, and he got him. But other than that, he's been great with his stuff, getting it where he wants it. Again.
Right back. Another changeup, 0-2.
Yep.
just missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Drew strikes out, missed the changeup. 3 strikeouts and a home run in the inning. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's 2-1. Tampa Bay.
Nine road games remain, so we ask you today, what is your opinion of the Rays' postseason chances? What do you think? TB1, the Rays will make the playoffs. Hashtag TB2, you're cautiously optimistic. Hashtag TB3, a 50-50 shot. Hashtag TB4, you're concerned, but you have hope. Hashtag TB5, you've already mailed in the season. Tweet your vote to @SunSportsRays, guys.
All right. Thank you, Todd. Matt Joyce takes the pitch down. 1-0. Joyce and then Myers, followed by Jennings. Off the plate inside. 2-0. Two and one. Joyce up in the count. 3-1. Ball 4. Joyce aboard to open the bottom of the 4th. You know, that last poll question in regard to that, I don't know how they calculate these figures, but they have projected percentages of these teams getting into the postseason. All right. The Rays right now have a better than 63% chance of a spot in the postseason. Better than all the other teams trying to catch them by quite a margin at this point. Will Myers takes a strike. I mean, that's pretty good.
It is. I think where the concern comes from is that it was like 95% 2 weeks ago. That's where you get a little
trending
nervous.
in the wrong direction.
It's trending in the wrong direction, even though it's still a good number. And you're right. How do you figure that out?
Yeah,
I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to see the formula.
I know.
But
like tomorrow, it'd be fun to track that. Depending on what happens tonight, it'll go up or down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it would be kind of interesting. Maybe we should try to track that. 1 and 2. The other Rays a little better than 63%.
Well, again, it boils down to the fact that the Rays have it all out in front of them. They take care of business, they'll be there.
Myers out on strikes, first out in the inning. Let's break now for the Fox Sports 1 studio and a game break. Thank you very much. Cleveland and Baltimore each a game and a half back, and the Indians off to a fast start. And they continue to have the most favorable schedule of any of those vying for a postseason spot. Desmond Jennings up here. There goes the runner. Swing and a miss. Throw down, and he is out. Joyce caught stealing for the third time this year. Drew put the tag on him. Jennings tried to give him some protection, but he's out of there.
Well, again, Boston really has struggled controlling the running game, and you see Jennings with the swing, Saltamaki with the throw, right on the money, plenty of time. Matt Joyce doing his best to elude that tag.
Pitch is away. 1-1. Popped up. Foul near the dugout. Bogarts runs out of room. One ball, two strikes. Rays got a run in the second. Myers driving in Longoria. Loney drove into Jesus in the third. And there's a drive. Jennings hits it out here in the fourth. 3-1. Desmond Jennings hits number 13.
Now you can pin this, and Jake Peavy knew it. Watch this hanger. Nothing. Right in the middle of the plate, right into Desmond Jennings' swing path, and that was no doubt once contact was made. We talked last night about how Boston attacking Desmond Jennings up in the zone with the fastball. That's how he got him the first time. Hung a slider there. Desmond gets him back.
So again, the Rays lead by 2. One and one. Rays trying to rekindle some fire. And they're up, scoring single runs in the second, third, and now fourth innings. A strike in there on the corner again. 2-2. Strike 3. Fastball catches him looking. Rays are finished in the inning, but they get a run on the home run by Desmond Jennings, his 13th of the year, and it's 3-1 Tampa Bay. Rays have built a 3-1 lead. Time for the Just for Men mustache and beard play like a champ. And the Red Sox turnaround from last year to this year, pretty amazing. 69 and 93 last year, and now they're 81 and 58, sporting the best record in the major leagues. That's the best turnaround since the Impossible Dream edition of the Red Sox in 1967. They went from 72 and 90 to 92 and 70. And John Farrell has orchestrated quite a move by Boston this year. First pitch of the 5th inning, taken inside by Xander Bogaerts. Bogaerts will be 21 years old when the calendar turns into October. One ball, one strike. Hellickson with 6 strikeouts tonight. He's walked a couple. Giving up a home run. Solo home run. 2 hits. 1-2 the count on the Boston third baseman.
Well, and for the most part, Jeremy Hellickson has been exactly where he wants to be in the strike zone. And that has been encouraging. That's coming off that start against the Angels where he went 5 1/3, no earned runs. Again, that's been all night long. All night long. He has been wearing out the bottom third of the zone and dropping pitches below it. Occasionally climbing the ladder, but when he's done that, he's been doing it because he wants to, not because it's a mistake.
For the second straight time, he strikes out Bogaerts on the changeup.
Well, there, that was a fastball up on purpose. Everything else you're going to see down, down, down all day long.
Bradley takes the pitch in. Jackie Bradley Jr. double last night, was 1 for 4. Playing in his 27th game with Boston. 1 ball, 1 strike. Contact foul puts Hellickson ahead in the count. Hellickson was at a little bit of a spot in the first with one out. Nava singled. Ortiz walked. And he got out of that. Drew with one out in the second. Gave up the home run with one out in the fourth. And it's 2-2. Hopper right side. Zobrist out from second and shallow right. 2 outs. So far so good for Hellickson. Jeremy in 2 prior starts against the Red Sox. 1-0 against them. Win came at Boston on the 19th of June. And he held them to 2 runs in 6 innings. First pitch to Dustin Pedroia. In there for a strike. Pedroia started the night hitting .298, 0 for 2 so far. I don't know how important infield hits are. If you take his infield hits away from him this year, his average is .248. That's what they mean to him. And a big part of that is his hustle.
Yeah.
He plays hard. He has 29 infield hits.
That's an astonishing number. And, you know, when you think of infield hits, first thing you think of is foot speed, a blazer. Dustin Pedroia, not that, but he is a max effort guy. And you're right, a lot of hustle involved in those 29 hits. And what a difference it makes.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially whether you're going to hit 250 or 300. 1-2. You know, a combination of things like that, infield hits and bunts, really can make an astonishing difference in a hitter's season and ultimately a career.
That's why it's so refreshing to see Desmond Jennings start to implement and utilize the bunt more. And I think that the more that he does that, the more that he makes that part of his game, obviously that average should climb because of it, but also on base percentage, and that's the most important thing. You want him on base for a lot of different reasons.
Ground ball foul. Well, that's a big part of Pedroia, just effort. He's been a battler right from the get-go. Two outs. Base is empty. Another foul ball. The Red Sox have been red hot, winning 14 of their last 17. Scored more runs than anybody else. It makes the count full. Two outs in the fifth. And the 3-2 to Pedroia. Ground ball, base hit through the hole. A 2-out single off a 3-2 fastball.
Well, a great job of battling there by Pedroia. You talk about his hustle, talk about the fact that he goes so hard, plays the game so hard, and he'll battle you too. And right here, a ball up in the zone, close to him, and he's able to find a hole. Tell you what, that's why John Farrell likes him with Ellsbury being out now. Likes Pedroia up at the top of the order. Sees a lot of pitches.
Now it's a place he hasn't been in the last few years. First time he's at leadoff this year. Comes in this series. Now Daniel Nava. Pitch down. This has been a little bit of a challenge for Hellickson this year. When he has had difficulty, so often it has come with 2 outs in an inning. Starting his 3rd time through the order. Foul outside of first. 1-1. Hellickson with his 7 strikeouts, walked a couple, allowing a run on 3 hits. The run came on the Saltalamacchia home run. This one will get away from Lobaton. Down to second base goes Pedroia. A wild pitch. Lobaton could not block it.
Well, he's had to deal with a number of those tonight because Jeremy Hellickson has made it a priority to pitch down, down, down. So a lot of these offerings have ended up in the dirt. Lobaton, for the most part, has done a nice job of this breaking ball right here. Gets outside of that arm, and that causes the ricochet off to the side and doesn't stay in front.
Nava out in front. Nice 2-1 changeup. 2-2. Over the game, hitting an even 300, a little over 300. Has been in scoring position. The 2-2. Fly ball lifted into center field. Jennings. That takes care of Boston. Jeremy Hellickson has gone through 5 tonight, striking out 7, limiting the Red Sox to a run on 3 hits, and the Rays lead 3-1. Fourth innings. And the scorecard there tells us that Escobar is going to be the leadoff man after grounding out his first time. Then we'll swing back around to the top of the order. Escobar, a big cut, foul ball. Strike one.
I'll tell you what, that scorecard is in better shape than mine. I'll tell you that already. And they're pretty confident, too, because they're using pen.
It's a 1-1 count. Look at that right there.
Yeah, way better shape than mine.
It was always fun to do. Come to the ballpark and score the game. It's a ball, 2 strikes here on Escobar.
My score sheet, Dwayne, is brought to you by Crayola.
That's 2-2. Yeah, the book's bigger than most. But you're doing a good job staying inside the lines. 3-2. Yeah, that was always fun. Get a scorecard, score the game. It was an instant souvenir to take home with you. Escobar walks a leadoff pass here in the 5th. Just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. David DeJesus. DeJesus walked, scored a run in the 3rd, holds it foul, well, foul, deep, but way out in front. Rays facing Jake Peavy, 32-year-old right-hander. Peavy first with the Padres, got to the big leagues with San Diego in 2002. The White Sox in 09, a bunt attempt was fouled, and now with the Red Sox. Ball, 2 strikes. Count even at 2-2. Zobrist on deck. Escobar walked. That stayed wide. Turned the curveball, and the count is full.
Yeah, and Jake Peavy has really been fighting himself out there tonight. Really fortunate just to have given up the 3 runs so far. In control of this at-bat against DeJesus to start off, and just misses 3 times in a row. That's after the walk to Escobar. And has not been overly sharp. Conversely, on the other side, Jeremy Hellickson has been extremely sharp and in the right spots all night long, save for one pitch to Saltalamacchia.
Runner goes on the 3-2 pitch. It's fouled. Well, the Rays scored first tonight with a run in the second. And right away, they've attempted to be a little more aggressive with the lead like that. They're up 3-1 now.
Well, in this situation, you know, Joe's going to put Escobar in motion if he feels good about the hitter-pitcher matchup. Feel good about DeJesus putting the ball in play, and Escobar's going.
Beebe goes to first. Escobar back in. And ball 4, back-to-back walks. So that gives the Rays an opportunity in the home half of inning 5. Now that's the 4th walk. 3 of them have come in the last 6 hitters he's faced. 2 men on, nobody out, and Ben Zobrist about to step in. Ben came into the game 4 of 10 with a home run and a walk against Peavy. 0 for 2 and a ground ball to second and a ground ball to first tonight. Low block by Saltalamacchia. That's a strike, picks up the knees. It's 1-1.
Well, and a nice job by Ben Zobrist realizing, strike or not, that is not a pitch designed for the hitter to do anything with. Lay off of it, hope for a better one.
Hops this one up. Bogarts down from third, takes care of the infield fly. That's the first out. The Rays will have the middle part of the order now. That pop out is Zobrist. Puts the Rays at 2 for 5 with men in scoring position tonight. It's been a struggle recently and actually all year in the season series against Boston. He's hitting 163 with runners in scoring position against Boston. Now James Loney pitches a strike. Loney drove in the run with a double in the 3rd inning. His 27th double. Away, 1-1. He's wrapping up this series against the Red Sox. Going to conclude it with a victory, dropping the first 2 games. Fastball missed wide. 2-1. Evan Longoria is on deck. Only now 10 of 30 lifetime. Matching up against Peavy. Strokes it toward left center field. Gomes closing to make the catch. And the runners remain at first and second. 2 outs.
Well, making a bid, trying to find that gap out there in left center field. The Boston Red Sox had Loney properly defensed. Not much of a run there for Gomes to be able to make that play. But now Peavy close to getting out of this first and second jam that he actually created himself with back-to-back walks to start this inning.
Evan Longoria tripled in the second inning. That led to the first run of the game. Going outside. Evan's third triple of the year. 1 out later, Will Myers singled him home. Rays would just as soon not see Uehara tonight. Longoria has to work over the bat. He's going to get a new one. Evan now with 29 home runs, 7th in the league, 75 runs batted in. Ground ball to third. Bogarts takes it down to Pedroia, and the Rays threaten, do not score. We're through 5. It's 3-1 Tampa Bay.
More here to share a special ticket offer with you guys, but I have to stress there is some urgency here, Lou.
Oh, a lot. I'll tell you what, there's 3 hours till midnight, and that's when the offer expires. We're talking about the ticket takeover, folks. The Fox, Sun Sports, and the Rays have gotten together, bought a block of tickets that we're going to sell to you for 50% off, but half off, half. That's a limited quantity available, all right? So you've got to get on the website that you see on your screen right now. Use your phone, your tablet, your computer, whatever you've got. Take advantages before they're all gone, and they are selling fast.
Very fast. And listen, Rays fans, there are 17 games left in the season. You're going to want to be here. You're going to want to support these guys. And why not come out half off, spend the savings around the ballpark? I'm thinking hot dogs and beer. What are you thinking?
I'm with you. That's a great idea.
You can't go wrong there, right, BA?
No, you can't. No, you can't. Can never go wrong there.
We go to the 6th. There's David Ortiz, and he takes the first pitch. Strike one. Hellickson had made 90 pitches through 5 innings. Ortiz has walked and struck out. 1-1. Hellickson got him on a changeup back in the 3rd. There's Jamie Wright up in the Rays bullpen. First bullpen action we've had tonight. Hellickson threw 71 pitches in 5 1/3 against the Angels last week. There's a shot deep. Deep into left center and out of here. Home run number 27 for Ortiz on the year, and it's 3-2.
Now, and all you got to do on this home run is just take a look at the location of the pitch. This is an area that Jeremy really has not visited at all during the course of this game, but an off-speed pitch. Got some elevation to it, and Ortiz with great plate coverage and good power the other way. Took a while admiring that, too.
Yes, he did.
Took a while getting around the base paths.
Yeah. Hellickson stepped back off the mound, and as you know, pitcher's not going to take kindly to that.
No, and by the way, that was just to cut the deficit in half. 2-1.
Want to know the count to Napoli. Big cut, and he misses. 1-1. So 2 solo home runs surrendered by Hellickson. Saltalamacchia in the 4th and Ortiz in the 6th. Ball, 2 strikes. Run for Ortiz, the 3rd allowed to Ortiz by Hellickson. Ortiz 9 career hits off Hellickson, 3 for homers. Foul, lined out of play. Difference in the game right now, the Desmond Jennings home run in the 4th inning. Chopped to short. Escobar, plenty of time. And Napoli is the first out. Second time he's gone out to short. This one a bit more routine than that broken bat back in the 1st when the ball and the big barrel into the bat helicoptered out toward Escobar. Saltalamacchia, who has struck out and homered. Shift on. Longoria alone on the left side. Too low. 2 ball, no strikes. 26-year-old right-hander Jeremy Hellickson working in the 6th. With a 3-2 lead now. Two balls, no strikes.
This is your by-the-book left-handed hitter. Jeremy Hellickson, if he goes with a fastball, he wants to keep that down and away. If he comes in with it, you want that ball with some elevation. The changeup, you can throw just about anywhere.
And he has Saltalamacchia out in front of the changeup to take the count to 2-1. And with that, it'll be the flip-flop with Escobar going back to the shortstop side. Longoria moving to the right side. Two-one. That'll even the count. 2-2. Additional action in the bullpen for the Rays. Jamie Wright had been up there alone, and now Wesley Wright, the lefty, is loosening. And ball 3 runs the count all the way out on Saltalamacchia. Johnny Gomes on deck. And he misses with the fastball. Saltalamacchia heads to first. Joe Madden out of the dugout and heads to the mound. So 1-out walk here. And that's going to be it for Hellickson on the Metro PCS call to the bullpen. Just for men, mustache and beard. Toyota, let's go places. Coventry Healthcare, coverage so you can keep living the life you want. Go live, we've got you covered. And by Checkers, feast on. One-run ball game now in the top of the 6th. 3-2. The Rays go to the bullpen. With Johnny Gomes coming up, Jamie Wright will get the call. Wright inherits a runner at first. Gomes tonight 0 for 2 against Hellickson, and now facing Jamie Wright. Which is a strike. Jamie in the game last night in the 6th inning. Came in with a couple men on and got the final out. Hellickson's line to this point, 104 pitches.
Well, Jeremy did his job. I think if you would have told Joe or before the game, pitch into the 6th inning here with a couple earned runs, team with the lead, he would have taken it. Jeremy probably not happy with the end result. He wants to be perfect or close to it. But boy, did an awful nice job all night long of not giving in when he fell behind, and he missed his spot twice. I mean, he left a ball with a little bit of elevation to Ortiz and then a fastball down and into Saltalamacchia, which is where he wants it. But other than that, he was outstanding with his command all game long.
Strike 2 to Gomes, 1 and 2, and he's doing it. Did it 5 1/3 against the most prolific run-scoring team in the major leagues.
He did have to work hard, but kept the ball down, had a good changeup. Tell by the towel wipes that Jeremy not happy to be out of this game, and I actually thought that Hellickson on
cut the miss. Gomes is out on strikes. Big strikeout for Jamie Wright. 2 gone.
Well, right on right off speed. Jeremy Hellickson was able to get to Johnny Gomes with the changeup, and Jamie Wright does it with the curveball.
Hellickson likes what he sees from the dugout. Now Stephen Drew. Drew was walked and struck out this evening. Wright's pitch is too low. So the matchup, 3 out of 8 lifetime against Jamie Wright. Keeping an eye on the runner Saltalamacchia at first. Big cut. It's 1-1. Got in on him, a fastball. So it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Foul back into the screen. So Jamie Wright come into this game with the 3.13 ERA. It's been 2.16 over his last 33 appearances. Runner goes. Pitch. Did he go? He did not. And into second, Saltalamacchia arrives safely. He gets credit for his second stolen base of the year.
Well, and a nice pitch to run on for Saltalamacchia. A breaking ball that was down in the dirt. Gets out into scoring position, and for as much as the Rays feel like they're in control of this game, it's still just a 1-run lead.
Yep. Not now. Back into the corner. Saltalamacchia will score. Drew into second with a double, and the game is tied at 3. For Drew, his 25th double. It's a 2-run inning. And the Red Sox have tied it.
Well, off speed there by Jamie, and it stayed up and out over the plate, and Drew right on it. Hits it hard, keeps it fair. And that lead gone.
The run charged to Hellickson. Completes the book on him. 3 runs. 4 hits. Bogarts down the right side, foul ball, and just out of play behind the bullpen mound.
Boy, that's just how quickly it can turn. I mean, the Rays have felt, the way that Jake Peavy really struggling out there with himself, making pitches when he's needed to, but he has not been as sharp as he would like, as Boston would like, battling each and every hitter. Rays seemingly in control, and then just that quickly, you got a tie ball game.
Burns fouls this one back. Runs the count to 2 strikes. Hellickson alongside David Price. Price will be pitching the Sunday game in Minneapolis. strike pitch. Bogaerts lays off. So it's a 1-2 count. Bogaerts picking up his first major league home run. He's 20 years old. Home run came Saturday in New York. Dirt blocked by Lobaton. The count squares out at 2-2. Rays led 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1. Now 2 runs have scored in the 6th for Boston, and this game is tied at 2 or at 3 now. Down at second base, Drew takes his lead. The count. Bogaerts granted time by Lance Barksdale. Fly ball back into center. It's Desmond Jennings waiting. Boston retired with 2 runs and a man left. Bottom of inning 6 coming. We're tied at 3. In the second, a double by James Loney in the third made it 2-0. Boston got on the board. Saltalamacchia hit a home run, his 12th of the year in the 4th. Desmond Jennings answered with his 13th home run of the year in the bottom of the 4th inning. And then the Red Sox get another long ball from David Ortiz to lead off the 6th. And with 2 outs, a double by Stephen Drew connecting off Jamie Wright. Scores Saltalamacchia from second base, and the game is tied at 3. Jake Peavy still out there for Boston. Matt Joyce leads off and misses the first pitch, strike 1.
Well, the Rays have had their opportunities off of Jake Peavy, and that Boston Red Sox bullpen right now humming right along, so they may be coming down to their last few. You want to keep the pressure on.
Curveball and a changeup, and Peavy is ahead of Matt Joyce, 2 strikes.
These are the types of sequences where hitters would want to yell at it, yell out at you, challenge me, challenge somebody. Well, if I don't have to,
One ball, 2 strikes. Will Myers on deck. Then Desmond Jennings. Ground ball to the left side. And the toss to first. So Bogaerts throws out Joyce. 1 away. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live. The pregame show is presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Chris Archer goes to the mound facing the Minnesota Twins in the beginning of a series in Minneapolis, and then a feature on Rays superstitions. Will Myers stepping in. Ball, no strikes. Two and 0. The Indians have a 6-2 lead on the White Sox in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Another miss. 3-0. And Myers walks on 4 pitches. The Rays get a base runner. Desmond Jennings. Pitch is wide. 1-0. The Indians have won 11 of 13 from the White Sox this year. And they have the early lead in their game in Chicago tonight. Braves have drawn 5 walks. Four hits off Peavy. 3 runs. One of those came on the Jennings home run in the 4th. It's upstairs. 2-0. Peavy just over 100 pitches. You see it's 101. And Pedroia in from second base, spending a little time with Peavy. It's going to be on the corner for a strike. 2-1. The Red Sox have action in their bullpen. Alex Torres is up in the Rays bullpen down the right field side. And he just missed the corner there. Fastball a little bit outside. 3-1.
Very close on this pitch, but it misses, puts the count in Jennings' favor. That's just off, but you know, Peavy hasn't exactly been spot on with the command, so a lot of times those borderline pitches will not go your way.
Right back off Peavy, deflecting to Bogaerts to throw to second. Out there. They get the force on Myers, and they'll come out to check Peavy. He's waving him off, saying he's all right, but they'll take a look at him anyway on a hot shot by Jennings.
This is where the tough guy comes out. I mean, he just got smoked by that line drive, and he's like, I'm good. I got another guy to get out. I'll talk to you in a few minutes. Well, that was a hard hit ball.
Well, that's a close play at second. He says, "No, I'm all right."
He may feel it tomorrow. That got him pretty good. Jennings hit that ball extremely hard. I'll tell you what, how about that? You hit a ball like that if you're Desmond Jennings, ends up being a fielder's choice because of the way it bounds. And a heads-up play by Bogaerts.
And the throw into the dirt over there. Blocked by Napoli.
Well, not close. Well, I'll tell you what. Napoli does a heck of a job just to flag that down and keep it from heading down the right field line.
Lobatone waiting for the first pitch. It's fouled back. 103.5 on that line drive off Jennings' bat back at Peavy that struck him.
We've seen balls leave the yard at less than 103.5. That was a rocket.
Lobatone now down in the count, 2 strikes. Three 5-0 for Boston, 3-4-0 for the Rays. And it's popped into shallow center. The shortstop Drew makes the catch. Rays are out in the 6th. We go to the 7th, tied 3-3.
And Lou Caputo's here on how to stretch your dollar.
That's right, folks. You need to get in on our ticket takeover and get those half-price tickets, those 50% tickets. They are going fast right now. We've only got a few hours left till the offer expires. There's a limited number of tickets. Bring the whole family down here and get on the excitement in the game.
I like bringing the family here, and I manage our Twitter account at Sun Sports Race, and I am getting some great feedback on there. I imagine you're not surprised at all.
Oh, I'm not surprised. Half off of anything is awesome. But to come out to a Rays game for half price, guys, you can't miss out on that.
Rays fans, you guys are officially on the clock until midnight, and that's only if it lasts.
Yeah, that's it. Expires at midnight, then it's gone.
Don't hold out. Jump on there. Get on that.
It'll be Friday night the 20th against Baltimore. Meanwhile, we go to the 7th inning tonight. Jamie Wright facing Jackie Bradley Jr. 1 strike the count.
I'm going to tell you something right now, Dwayne.
Yes, sir.
The ticket takeover, it's being, I don't know, it's got me as excited. I mean, so excited up here, Dwayne. I mean, Friday night, last homestand, so you're running out of games.
That's right.
Important games.
Yep. That's a 4-game series with Baltimore, first night in.
Meaningful. Yeah, that's right, because that's the old reach-around series.
Yes, it is. They stay through Monday.
That's right.
Pitch outside, it's 1-2. Cut the miss. So the curveball strikes out Bradley. Time for another game break in our Fox Sports 1 network. Thank you very much. All of that action directly affecting the Rays in the wild card race. Dustin Pedroia looks at a strike. Rays and the Red Sox tied 3-3. Pedroia with impressive numbers lifetime against Jamie Wright. 5 of 11. He's 1 for 3 tonight. All of that was against Hellickson. 1-1. Curveball is tapped foul. 1-2. Yankees have that 4-1 lead on Baltimore. Eddie Machado's RBI single. Cut to miss. Big swing by Pedroia. A little late movement there. 3 strikeouts for Jamie Wright and 10 on the night for Rays pitching.
Well, there's a little bit of a cutter right there by Jamie Wright. 88 miles an hour, just missed by Pedroia. Coming back and striking out the first 2 here in the 7th inning.
Daniel Nava has a base hit in 3 at-bats. One strike. And the Rays entering the final third of this game here in the 7th, tied. A lot riding on these next 3 innings for the Rays. That's a strike on the outside edge, 0-2.
And so many of these games between the Rays and the Red Sox have come down late. Very tightly contested ball games over the course of the season, but yet the Red Sox have gotten the better of it. 12 out of 18 so far.
Rick Britton, the left-hander.
Got to figure he's coming in next inning. Get that line drive off the leg of Peavy, the pitch count, the fact that more than likely that thing's going to tighten up. It did catch him pretty good, and we know that it was 103.5 miles an hour off the bat. So it's now going to come down to a battle of the bullpens once again.
He slips away from right. Way wide. 2-2. Rays 6-12 against Boston this year. 2-6 here at the Trop. Swing and a miss. Wright strikes out the side. 7th inning stretch time with the score tied 3-3. Brought to you by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Visit your Honda dealer for great lease and finance deals on fuel-efficient Hondas. By Tampa Bay Radiation Oncology. When cancer strikes, strike back with CyberKnife. Available at Tampa Bay Radiation Oncology. And Chevrolet. See your local Tampa Chevy dealer. Tie ball game with the Rays coming in to hit in the bottom of the 7th inning. Wrapping up this short homestand against Boston. Drake Britton will be the new pitcher for the Red Sox.
Well, he is on for the 16th time. A total of 18 2/3 innings, 16 strikeouts. Limited duty here for the Red Sox, and a big spot for him. Bottom of the order. Tie ball game.
Fidel Escobar to lead off. Pitch is a fastball high. Rays got their 3 runs on 4 hits off Peavy. Back 1-1. Jake McGee up in the bullpen now for the Rays. De La Rosa up again in the Boston bullpen. This is the first we've seen of Britton in this series. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. He made 110 pitches tonight. Walked 5, struck out 4, allowed 3 earned runs on 4 hits.
Yeah, that's a tough, hard-working line. You talk about the 5 walks. A lot of free passes for this Rays lineup. Stand tied right now.
Two to Escobar. Count is full. Line drive into center. Bradley's there. One away. Escobar hit the ball hard. DeJesus is due, but Delman Young will be called upon to pinch hit. Young comes on to bat. DeJesus 0 for 1 with 2 walks and a run scored. Delman, a home run among his 5 hits since coming to the Rays. This pitch is a fastball upstairs. Two and 0. Zobrist will follow. Delman always a threat up there, particularly against left-handed pitching. And he's ahead in the count 3-0. Delman's home run came off Iwakuma out in Seattle. And he walks. So Young, throughout his career, has been a very aggressive hitter and doesn't walk much. Has walked on 4 pitches.
Yeah, outside of intentionally, how many times has he walked on 4 pitches ever?
Now he'll be lifted for the runner. So Delman Young walks and then trots off the field. Sam Fuld runs for him.
Yeah, welcome to September baseball. You get to see a lot of different moves. We had a 3 for 1 the other night. Got those extra players, put them to use.
Fuld takes his lead. Zobrist hits it back to the mound. Out at second. Low throw. Dug out at first. 1-6-3 on the double play. Drew took the throw from Britton over to Napoli, and the Rays are finished in the 7th.
New pitcher for the Rays. Time now to check in once again on our AT&T Twitter poll question. It involves what your mindset is for the Rays playoff hopes. Do you think hashtag TB1 they're going to make the playoffs? Hashtag TB2 right now you're cautiously optimistic. Hashtag TB3 could go either way. It's a coin flip. Hashtag TB4 you're concerned but you still have hope. Or hashtag TB5 you have given up on the 2013 team. Tweet your votes to @SunSportsRays. We'll have the results in the Rays Live postgame show, guys.
All right, Todd. Well, we'll see. We've got a tie game here, 3-3 headed into the 8th. And Jake McGee becomes the third Rays pitcher. 64th appearance for Jake.
Jake's going to come right in. David Ortiz to lead this thing off. Napoli. And this is where Joe Maddon's going to start to play the matchups.
Sam Fole takes over in left field after pinch running.
That's one of those things that,
chopper off the bat of Ortiz. Escobar, who was on the right side of second, out of the shift, takes care of that.
We announced the pitcher, who they're going to face, but every series, the pitching coach, manager, they're going to get together and they go through everybody. Obviously, the scouting report on these hitters that they're going to face, but then the relievers. What relievers do you like on these hitters? And they have a little on that part of that sheet that you see Joe Maddon taking a look at, and they've got all the matchups worked out, who they want on different hitters based on a lot of different criteria, and that's how these decisions are made.
Napoli takes the pitch. It's a strike. Interesting, the evolution of all of that.
Yeah.
At one point it was like, you'd kind of eyeball the situation. Then they started keeping track of matchups.
Yep.
So then you'd go by just pitcher-hitter matchups. And now you've got that plus swing planes and all of those other angles. Up and in there to Napoli. He gets out of the way, 1-1.
Well, you can tell, Joe. Hey, listen, they've got 13 at-bats against each other. The guy's got like 8 hits and 3 or 4 homers. And Joe's like, yeah, I like that matchup for our pitcher. But the numbers, for whatever reason, and that's why, last night a lot of questions being asked about Roberto Hernandez coming into that ball game when he did, and Joe said he liked that matchup. He liked him on Napoli, thought he had a good chance to get a ground ball and maybe get out of that. Well, that all goes away when you walk it, and then all of a sudden with the next guy, the pinch hitter comes up, you throw your number 3 pitch.
Yeah, and that's the thing I think that really caught a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know this booth was extremely surprised, and I know that we weren't the only ones.
Well, you're looking for the double play. You're just looking for the double play, and how are you going to try to get that? What are your best chances to get it?
Something moving down towards the dirt, running away from that left-handed hitter, and that would be sinker or the changeup. And a lot of people say, well, he's probably looking for the sinker. He's going to, okay. There's a lot of hitters that look for the fastball. It doesn't mean you don't throw it. Throw it in a good spot. Let that thing run down and away. He can look for it all he wants. If he is looking for it and wants to swing at it, and you put it in a good spot, he's more apt to swing at it. Yep. So if you put it where you want it, you probably get the result that you want.
Yeah, it's not get what I want, but it's well placed. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
So I always, a well executed pitch, whatever it is the key. But there are times when one pitch makes a lot more sense than the other. Full count to Napoli. He got him. Struck him out. 98 from Jake McGee. 2 gone. It's a dozen strikeouts for Rays pitching tonight. 2 up, 2 down here in the 8th.
Overpowering. That's all it is. Power on power. Napoli's swing. McGee's fastball, and McGee wins.
Jared Saltalamacchia has scored 2 of the Boston runs. He had a home run in the 4th to get him on the board. Walked and scored in the 6th. Pitch is high. Saltalamacchia much more of a threat from the left side. Back, it's 1-1. 10 of his 11 home runs have come, now 12. 11 of his 12 home runs have come from the left side. High foul. Out of play. It's 1-2. Takes care of Saltalamacchia. 2 strikeouts in the inning for McGee. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 3-3. We have a tie game, 3-3, headed into the bottom of the 8th inning. That's what it's all about here at Tropicana Field tonight. The Rays and the Red Sox. The Rays will have the middle part of the order coming up. James Loney, Evan Longoria, and Matt Joyce. The left-hander Drake Britton in relief of Jake Peavy. Britton worked the 7th. Loney takes a slider that's in there for strike 1. Broken bat and a ground ball to the hill. Britton, a brisk throw to first. 1 gone in the 8th. It's Fernando Rodney up in the Rays bullpen. De La Rosa ready in the bullpen for the Red Sox. John Farrell comes out to get him into the game with Evan Longoria due up. Britton departs with this Metro PCS call to the bullpen.
Ticket
takeover. That's it. 50% off tickets for the September 20th game against the Orioles. You got to get them now. Time is running out.
How many are left? Do you have an estimation at all? I
don't know the exact number, but I know they're really limited.
The pressure is on.
Pressure is on.
Log on, guys. As you see at the bottom of the screen, directions. It'll walk you right through the process. Very simple. Enjoy the game, and we're looking forward to September 20th. Big series.
It's going to be huge.
Back up to you guys.
Thank you very much. Ruby De La Rosa taking over here with 1 out in the 8th. Evan Longoria takes a look at the first pitch, a slider, and that's a strike. Slider at 86. And again, Longoria admitted bat will change bats.
He did that the last time he came up.
Miss. Slider again.
You may want to keep that other one close. The slider by De La Rosa is nasty. He throws it hard. Good movement down and away.
Fly ball back into center field. Bradley on the run, on the run. It one hops the wall and skips over. A ground rule double. Well, that's the right bat.
It is the right bat. Wrong pitch by De La Rosa. Not the wrong pitch, I should say, but wrong location. That's the trouble sometimes when you throw 3 off-speed pitches in a row. The first 2 in a great location, that one not as good. And when you give a hitter a good look at the breaking ball in good spots for the pitcher, and then you miss, boy, that ends up right in his wheelhouse, and Evan takes full advantage.
Here's Matt Joyce. So the Rays got the double from Longoria and a pop-up foul. That ball will be fair and is caught by Bogarts. Playable in foul territory. So it stayed in. Ball initially appeared that it might go out of play, but it stayed in play and a foul pop.
That's why these infielders need to stay with it, because it has that reverse spin on it. So as it leaves the bat, you're like, that's maybe going to get out of play, but it's got that backspin. Even if it's that side backspin and it starts curling back towards the field. Bogart stays with it and is rewarded with the second out of the inning.
Well, 2 outs. Will Myers bat for the Rays. Conversation on the hill. They go over Myers with De La Rosa. On the A's, the pitching coach out there. John Farrell has had a big influence on this pitching staff, and the A's coming over from the White Sox, a very important part of the Boston success story. Sort of the Jim Hickey of the Boston staff. Hickey's been so valuable to the Rays as their pitching coach. Rodney stays loose. Now Will Myers. Ball. Everything is hard from De La Rosa, including a changeup.
At 88. Slider 85, 86. Very good arm.
Six from PV, an inning and a third from Brenton. Side toward the line. Nava on the run. Can't get there. That's fair. down beyond the bullpen. The run scores. Throw into second out in time. Rays lead 4-3. Big hit by Will Myers. Will driving in his second run of the game, picking up his 14th double.
Now placement. This ball stays in the middle of the plate, and Will Myers fillets it down the right field line, and you see it right there, about 6 inches fair.
Now Desmond Jennings at the plate. Pitch is fouled to the bottom of the screen. Couple of 2 base hits in the 8th from Longoria and Myers, and the Rays have reclaimed a 4-3 lead. Strike 2. A 2-strike count. And a fastball at 96 fouled straight back. Well, that's 96 on the fastball, 86 on the slider, 88 on the change. He throws hard. Two-strike pitch again. One hop to short, comes up on Drew. Cannot make the play, and over to third goes Myers. Myers rounded the bag and then lost his footing. No play there. That'll be an error charged to Drew. And this will give the Rays an opening to perhaps add to this one-run advantage.
Now one hopper, it's going to eat Drew up. Now he's got a chance right here to recover. But just still, right there, is not able to get that ball cleanly. Yeah, whatever you got to do. We've seen that before. Come around third base a little too hot, slide to get back. It's a good job of listening to Tom Foley. You do not want that throw to cut in behind you, obviously, so get down and scramble back.
Well, Lobaton has been announced, and after the Red Sox took a little time on the mound to give the bullpen a few extra tosses, Matt Thornton will get the call. We'll be right back after this Metro PCS call to the bullpen. have the postgame presented by Checkers. Todd and Orestes will be anchoring our coverage. We'll have Joe Madden's press conference. Kelly Nash will have interviews from the clubhouse. Matt Thornton, formerly with the White Sox, makes his 56th appearance. Jose Lobaton will turn around to swing from the right side. Fastball is foul. A little bit of it.
You could see Matt Thornton, that fastball in the mid-90s, but took a look at those numbers. 40 innings of work, just 28 strikeouts. Not a big strikeout guy, even though he's got the big arm. And some depth to that Boston bullpen.
One and one the count. Longoria doubled with one out, scored on a 2-out double by Myers. First and third now. Jennings back in there. Foul ball. That's how to play. Lobaton, since the beginning of August, has had his average around 290 during that stretch. Hitless tonight. Pitch is high. Hitting 255 right now with an 0 for 3 tonight. .227 against left-handed pitching. Battling here, staying alive, fouling that one back. 6 home runs for the year for Lobaton. One of those as a right-handed hitter. Trying to pick up an additional run to carry into the ninth. The Rays have taken a 4-3 edge. 2-2. Line drive, but it's fouled, ducked by Myers, and then the ball winds up down near the bullpen.
Yeah, look out. That's as a runner on third base. You go down in foul territory, and you better be keeping a close eye at home plate. Those balls and guys turn on, and there's not much time for reaction. Same thing with Tom Foley, who's in the line of fire a lot.
Two again, and a foul ball.
But this battle.
Next pitch will be the 8th of the at-bat. Indians have an 8-2 lead in Chicago in the top of the 5th inning. And the Yankees lead the Orioles 4-1 in the bottom of the 6th at Baltimore. Holding down the second wild card spot, starting the day a game up on New York, game and a half up on Baltimore and Cleveland, 2 on Kansas City. There's Jennings, and the pitch is lined foul beyond the bullpen and out of play. BB 6. The Rays got 3 off him. Britton an inning and a third. De La Rosa a third. And now Thornton facing his first hitter. Ground ball to third. Bogarts will make the throw to first. The Rays are finished in the 8th inning, but they pick up the lead run. Will Myers with a 2-base hit to chase home Longoria, and the Rays lead 4-3. Will Myers coming through, driving in his second run of the night to give the Rays the lead in the bottom of the 8th. And Fernando Rodney will take over here, making his 62nd appearance.
Well, looking for his 34th save, and to date it would be the biggest one of the year for the Rays. 1-run lead against Boston. Well, you got to close this one out. And Fernando, almost 20 more strikeouts than innings pitched, is poised to do just that.
The Red Sox will have Johnny Gomes leading off, then Stephen Drew set to follow. Xander Bogaerts due third. The Yankees have added a run in the 7th inning. That's 5-1 now in Baltimore. The Yankees hitting in the top of the 7th with the lead. Rodney pitched an inning last night, had 2 strikeouts. He worked the 9th. On in the 9th now. Gomes 0 for 3 tonight. And down he goes. That pitch up and in. Fastball to 96, and Gomes pops right back up.
Yeah, and didn't make it all the way down. Watch this. This ball, I mean, awfully close. Stick the landing like nothing happened.
It's a strike. Change up popping away from Lobaton. Fortunate to get the call.
Look, yeah, right there. Fox Tracks had it right on the borderline. Hey-o.
And this one off the mitt and to the backstop with the fastball. 2-1.
That's all right. Shake him up just a little bit. Yeah, up and in, then to the screen.
involving all the folks in the front row.
Changing eye levels. It's an important part of pitching.
This one out to second. Zobrist throws him out. And then on Gomes there. What an interesting at bat that was for Gomes.
We're going to run a sequence of that post-game show. Show you how he set Gomes up for the ground ball to second.
And Stephen Drew 0 for 3 in his career with 3 strikeouts facing Fernando Rodney. Rodney starts him with a strike in this at bat. Strike 2 at the knees. Mike Karp, Boston's hero last night. Karp is on deck to hit for Bogaerts next. Way high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Third base side going to stay fair, and that's going to be a base hit. How about that? Not the prettiest of hits, and somehow it stayed fair.
Cue shot.
Infield hit.
Yeah, that was a cue shot by Stephen Drew right off the end of the bat, and this just squibs up the line and stays true. Actually starts foul. Look at that, the action on that ball.
And here's Karp to pinch hit for Bogaerts. Pitch outside. Take Karp long last night, pinch hitting for Gomes. Jumped on that first pitch slider from Roberto Hernandez with a grand slam. Two and 0. One out, one on. Rays lead by 1. Wide with a fastball. Middlebrooks now out on deck. Gomes grounded out, and then Rodney had Drew down 1 and 2. Drew hit the squibber just inside the line, and now ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Karp. Pushes Drew up to second.
And we saw a little bit of some signs of this potentially happening. A couple of those pitches to Johnny Gomes way up and in, one to the backstop. Fernando not showing the command that he normally exhibits, and that 4-pitch walk will push a Boston runner into scoring position here with 1 out in a 1-run game.
Will Middlebrooks is the pinch hitter. Perry runs at first for Karp. Middlebrooks takes a fastball for a strike. Berry, the pinch runner. Middlebrooks up here in the ninth. A little too familiar territory, reminiscent of the game in the middle of May here. And a shot up the right side, going to be foul. Took the fastball the other way, and the count is 0-2. Game in May with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Middlebrooks down 1-2. With a changeup into left center field for a double that cleared the bases.
It's that changeup that entire at bat.
It led to a 4-3 Boston win. Line drive to third. Longoria looking for a double play. No place to go. 2 gone. So Middlebrooks lines out this time, and Longoria is there to catch it. Two outs with 2 on, and it's never easy.
Yeah. Boy, enough of the drama. This ball gets ripped by Middlebrooks, but right there is Longoria.
Haven't thought it was hit so hard. There might be a chance for 2, but no place to go. And now it's Justin Pedroia. He fouls that one. Look out, Ron Butterfield. So with 2 men on and 2 men out, Rodney has held Pedroia to an 0-for-4 with 2 strikeouts. But you know, you're going to have a battle on your hands with Pedroia. Swing and a miss. Rodney overpowers him at 98.
Well, Pedroia was starting to dive, and that ball had late run in as Pedroia's diving towards the plate, and he just ties himself up.
First and second, 2 outs. 2-strike pitch. Ooh, shot foul up the right side beyond the Rays dugout. Rodney trying to close it out for McGee. Rays took the lead in the bottom of the 8th. Red Sox threatening the 9th. Upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That fastball at 98. If the Rays are to win this one, it will not have come easily. The pitch popped up. Escobar. Rays win. Rays win it 4-3. Rodney gets the pop-up out of Pedroia. And the Rays win the final game of this 3-game series. A 4-3 final. So the Rays, with the victory, will make sure that for another day, no one will gain ground on them in the second wild card spot.
Nice catch, oh boy.
So the Rays finish the series with a win. Just as we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. This one courtesy of Will Myers with a double up the right field line, scoring Evan Longoria to give the Rays a 4-3 lead. And they hang on and win this one by that same margin. Right now, let's go to the